Greetings YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Dragon Quest number 11, and today I'm going to be sharing with you several tips which will help you on your journey. So if you enjoy watching, please don't forget to leave a like and be subscribed to my YouTube gaming channel. Tip number 1, we're going to just take a look at the character stats, and the game doesn't really explain what these stats do, so there has had to be some trial and error by Dragon Quest players in order to figure these out. Most of them, obviously, like maximum health and attack and defense, are fairly obvious, but some of them, not so much. So, Magical Might, that increases the damage of your magical spells, your attack spells. Likewise, Magical Mending increases the power of your healing and defensive spells. Agility, it is believed that agility affects the turn order. Okay, so the higher agility you have, then the quicker you'll be able to take turns. And deafness is basically the luck stat, so that's going to determine several factors such as how often you're going to get preemptive strikes in battle, how often you're going to have critical hits, and perhaps, just as importantly, the steal chance when it comes to stealing from enemies. Oh, and also the chance of fleeing from battle. All of that is contained in deafness. Charm is an interesting one. There might have been times in battle where you've seen enemies skip their turn. Perhaps they'll do a little dance, perhaps they'll fall over. Something happens which means they don't actually do anything of use. That is because of your charm stat. Now, the higher your charm stat, the higher chance the enemy has of skipping their turn. Tip number 2, and this is a really nice thing you can do with the map, and it's something I only learned recently myself, so it'd be great going into the game knowing this from the get-go. As you'll probably know, you can press square at any point while you're in control of your characters to bring up the current map. What you may not have noticed, you may have overlooked, is if you press X, you can actually enter the map menu and have a look at certain overlays with the map itself. For example, you can highlight any exits, and you can also go through other maps that are close by. But perhaps one of the most useful features, in my opinion, is the ability to bring up the sparkle points that are close by as well. So you can't keep these active, unfortunately. Once you come out of this menu, they will close again, but you can have a brief look compared to your character's location as to where these are located. And these sparkle points, they do respawn over time as well. So if you want to see specific materials to farm for crafting, then you can literally go down the list here on whatever map the material is that you want. For example, say we wanted water sedge, and it will highlight it for us, okay, with the feather icons. So we know exactly where to get that item, and when it respawns, we'll know where it will be as well. So the next tip that I want to share with you involves pet power. Now, I'm sure you already know quite a lot about pet power anyway. The game does introduce this information to you. But as you can see at the moment, Eric is in pet state. Unfortunately, Fuzz isn't, so we can't pull off one of the special pet moves. But one of the things to note is that those pet moves actually remove pet state. Now, you might know that already. But what you might not have thought of is how to maximise your pet mode so that you don't cause it to expire too soon, even, you know, by casting a powerful pet power. So what you want to do is figure out how you know when the pet power is going to end. And there's no timer on the screen that tells you how many rounds are left, and it does work by round, okay? So it doesn't matter how long you stay in pet power if you don't actually go through rounds of battle with that character. By the way, if a character's in pet mode and you want to keep them in that mode, when you've got more party members than I've got, you can actually keep them in the reserve party for as long as you want, and they'll never expire their pet mode until you bring them into battle and use them for so many rounds. But you can see how Eric's portrait is lit up because he's in pet mode. Well, eventually, as we go through certain rounds here, what's going to happen is he's going to start flashing. His portrait will start flashing, and that's the indication that his pet mode is soon to end. And when it's flashing, that's when you're going to want to unleash a pet power, because it's going to end anyway, so you may as well maximise it. So I'll see if I can enter another battle here and show you that. Right, so we can actually see now, I've gone through a few more rounds, that his portrait, Eric's portrait, is now actually flashing, which means that after the next round he does an action, that's going to be the end of his pet state. So we want to maximise his pet power, which means we'll go and use one now. But if we used it, say, when he first entered pet mode, then he would expire it immediately. So a good little tip there for you guys. So look out at the portraits when they start flashing. That's when you know you want to go ahead and use your pet powers. Finally, an interesting bonus tip for you guys. Dragon Quest XI actually breaks from traditional JRPG gameplay in some ways, and for example, one of those ways, and I actually like this myself, is that your reserve party members that do not participate in battle will still get 100% of the experience gained from that battle. Obviously in many RPGs, JRPGs, they'll only get a certain percentage of the experience, or they won't gain any at all unless you bring them into the fight. Not the case here. Don't worry too much about having to swap party members around in order to distribute the levels fairly. Just play with whoever you want to play with the most, and everybody else in reserve will still be powering up as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed these tips. If you've got anything else you want to share, tip-wise for Dragon Quest XI, please do post those in the comment section, and I'll read through them myself, and hopefully they'll help others as well. But thanks for stopping by today. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Have a great day.